So, when you kind of think about it, the superhero games community has taken a beating in the last few years. More specifically, the DC side has taken a bigger beating than anyone else that I can think about. There are many reasons to this. Welcome to the Video Game Fight School channel. Let's talk a little bit. Just a few years ago, it's basically been less than 2 years, we got the video game Gotham Knights. Gotham Knights came out, and for the most part, there were just so many mixed reactions to the game, most people could not necessarily decipher what this game actually was about. It was just one of those things where I thought it was a very sad situation because at the end of the day, when you kind of think about it as a fan, from a fan perspective, you realize that if you took your time to actually analyze this game, it wasn't going to be the next Arkham game by any measure or by any stretch. However, it seemed like everybody wanted this game to be an Arkham game. Fair enough, it was a different studio that actually made the game. So yes, we could chalk it up to maybe Warner Brothers, Montreal wanted to do their own thing. However, when it came down to probably getting a game that would have come out from a studio that had been known to give pretty much the best single player game in the superhero genre experience, Rocksteady, they seem to have, in a sense, elected to make a Suicide Squad game, number one, a villain-based game, and number two, a live service game. This did not bode well for a lot of the community members already, and then to top it off, they went ahead and smoked the superheroes in the story. It's very challenging to expect fans to reconcile disempowering the superhero in the game or the superheroes, or, in a sense, treating them or painting them in a light that is less than heroic. It's not the easiest thing to do. And then killing them off, you have to basically understand that the reaction you're going to get is going to be similar to that of Sherlock Holmes back in the day. Now, I bring these things up because one of my audience members said something in my Wonder Woman video, and I thought it was very interesting. He said, I was really hoping that the Wonder Woman game will be a turnaround for superhero games after how terrible Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League is. But after hearing this was based on that rumor and the fact that it's a AAA game, which are games that barely have a lot of care put into them nowadays, it feels like we can't get excited for anything anymore. Now, this is demoralizing because this is coming from an audience member of mine that has been excited for years and followed my channel. Jaxpo, shout out to you, by the way, based on a lot of the things that we've been covering. So I feel like all of us, for the most part, are in the same place. So what are these problems? What is Jaxpo and even other commenters on my channel? What have we been talking about and what are they mentioning as the issues? Number one, I can list off the top of my head, is agenda-based superhero video games. It appears that a lot of the writers, a lot of the way the developers approach the game, and when I use the word developer, I'm using it loosely. I'm not talking about the gameplay programmer. I'm not talking about the 3D artist. I'm talking about the people who are driving the decisions. They seem to care more about agendas than actually about the source material, the characters, and pleasing the fans and making the fans happy. This has basically created this weird relationship because the customer does not know where they stand, and it seems like the person producing the product seems to be targeting the product against the customer instead of actually for the customer. So this is where you're seeing this stuff go into. Then when you actually take into the perspective of these games now are getting bigger and more expensive and they're getting to be pushed out of the window without leaving them to cook longer, then it also makes sense that you're going to notice that there's not as much care and enough, in my opinion anyways, love and emotion that is being put in them because they're just so big and it's hard to be able to find that heart and soul. Not saying that the developers, and let me be very careful, are not putting their heart and soul into their work. It's just their work is just so broad and doesn't seem to target its audience anyways, and it's trying to go in a blanket way to catch everyone, thereby missing everyone that it's supposed to catch. This particular set of issues, or these set of issues, in my opinion, seem to just be the tip of the iceberg. Then you have corporatism. Then you have all of the decision makers that, for the most part, will cancel projects that would have been viable, like the Damian Wayne game, which got folded up into becoming Gotham Knights. Even though I like Gotham Knights, I would have enjoyed seeing a Damian Wayne continuation of the Arkham universe. And Warner Brothers Montreal is very qualified to make an Arkham game using the systems that Rocksteady had already made, seeing that they made Arkham Origins. So all of these things have just basically set up a lot of the gamer base in terms of the superhero genre for failure. This is why I've actually jumped into making my own superhero game. In fact, I've basically spent time and effort and all of the above to basically come to put something together. And honestly, it's one of the most difficult things out there. But I think in our day and age, in our time, we can actually enjoy real, genuine stories that are told and targeted for the fans, not against the fans. So the agenda is only to make the fans get a hero, get a character, get a story that they can enjoy, and all of these other things can be put by the wayside. And pure entertainment is just basically what we're going to find, and cool, gameplay stories and all kinds of really cool stuff. The challenge, though, is this is very difficult. The knowledge base to be able to put together a video game is not one that's easily found, nor is it cheap to find or cheap to secure and acquire. But anyways, I'll be putting more information out here regarding the project. I wanted to go ahead and just paint it in light of, man, this has been a very challenging, few years. I remember when I started this channel and we were just waiting based on the rumors that they were making another Arkham game. And then we got the whole thing with Gotham Knights. But then it just, eventually didn't pan out to be that. And this is on the DC side by itself. We're not even looking at Marvel, because Marvel has basically entered the whole commercialization phase. And it's just been really interesting overall to see how all this has panned out. Let me hear your thoughts in the comment section. Thanks so much for watching the video. I appreciate you guys' time and audience. You can dial into the Video Game Fight School Discord server. I'll be putting updates there when it's time to show a little bit more stuff about the superhero game that I'm working on. And I enjoy you guys' feedback and such. So let me know in the comment section as well. And we'll talk pretty soon in another one. Peace out.